Ladies and gentlemen, back again for Yap Session number 2. So here he is, the main man himself. Go ahead.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Uncommon Man podcast. This is your host, David. This is my guy here, Mike. What's going on, Mike?
Hey, dude. Besides being completely exhausted from moving everything, in case you hadn't noticed by the change of scenery in the background.
Hell yeah. So different.
Yeah, no, we decided to go ahead. We got a downgrade for about a year and a half. We're in the process of purchasing a whole bunch of properties so we can end up building our eventual dream shop home out on about 30 acres plus. And to do that, I mean, you got to downsize for a little bit. So we moved a bunch of stuff into storage and went down from our massive house that we were into a cute little apartment. I guess is not really any other way to describe it. There's nothing masculine about it whatsoever. So
yeah. Well, sometimes you got to take a step back, so you can take a couple steps forward.
Right.
It's all about sacrifice. A quick call to business. Everybody like, subscribe, follow us on Twitter,
Please.
Follow us on YouTube.
Twitter, Uncommon Man Pod. And
yes, sir.
We're getting a lot of good feedback too. So, yes. Hey, man, we appreciate it. Like I said, this is as you always specifically say, man, what are we?
Hey, Uncommon Man. Hey, we try to interact as much as we can. I'm on the account. Mike is on the account. So, hey, hit us up. Hey, man, let's get some dialogue going on. We want to hear from y'all, and you'll hear from us. Real quick shout out to a follower that we have, Alberton Hockey Jesus, friend of the podcast. What's up, bro?
Yeah, man. Hey, really appreciate you. Shout out, buddy.
Yes, sir.
I'm sure you weren't expecting this, but we are, like I said, we are a community, and every bit of a new subscriber, as well as any new participant and a friend of the Broncos is a friend of us, as well as the Avs, I might add. So I'll give you one guess who's more of a hockey fan in this one. It's not me. So.
Yes, sir.
But no.
But yeah. So this past weekend, which was, not a lot going on, but at least the UFC had the balls to put on an event, right? So what was your thoughts and takeaways from the past UFC fight?
So I'm going to go ahead and full disclosure. I ended up pirating the actual event. And that was not by my fault. Dude, I fucking legit was so amped after the prelims that I was like, this fight card has been fantastic. I will pay you sons of bitches the $65 fee on that. We've got that whole Disney Plus package that throws in ESPN, all that eyes wide shut crap that Disney bought out. These guys are fucking insane. Just the amount of fuck you money they have. But dude, I was willing to pay them, and we kept trying. We went through like 4 or 5 different times before the fight card started, and it kept declining it, even though we had our account linked and everything. They take the money out every month. So I was like, well, you guys can suck a fat dick then. I'll just go ahead and pirate this shit. So I threw it on First Row Sports. I was like, hey, watch the whole fights for free. So fuck them.
Yeah, man. I found that this past weekend UFC fights was really refreshing to just sports in general. I mean, that was the dose that you needed. And I mean, like I say, shout out to the UFC for saying, hey, fuck COVID-19. We're not going to be stopped or delayed for this shit. Hey, even the one guy had it, and then they pulled him. It was like, hey, man, this train's going to keep rolling. So what did you think about the main card, like fights in specific? So, did any stand out to you?
Let's do it. Dude, every fucking fight was awesome. I mean, the only 2 that were early stoppages, both of them were horseshit. And obviously, you saw Dominic Cruz. You saw him when he yanked his arm away and said, fuck you, to the ref.
Yeah.
Dude, he was pissed. And he should have been, man. Like, the dude, I mean, you're crawling back up against the cage, like, at least give it a couple seconds. I mean, you don't have to be, Mario Yamasaki or Yasaki, whatever the fuck that guy's name used to be.
Mm-hmm.
That dude would basically let people die before he would fucking call the fight. But, like, you could still at least give him the extra, 3 or 4 seconds to try and recuperate. And
what I didn't notice – what I didn't realize was, I mean, the bell was about to ring for that round to be done. You could have let him ride out just a few more seconds. Did you hear his comments where he said that the ref smelled like cigarettes and alcohol?
Oh, that's awesome.
So he taking pulls in between fights and shit, and sipping on some gin and shit.
I'd be more happy he's doing bumps, you know?
Yeah.
Hey, if nobody's sitting on those toilets, you might as well go take advantage of them and do a couple keys.
Yeah, but I mean, like, let's be honest here. I had Henry Cejudo pulling that fight out regardless.
Oh, sure.
Early stoppage or not. I mean, Henry Cejudo was going to slaughter that dude.
Well, here, let's, what do you say? Let's give him a little bit of a visual aspect here. I'll switch over. We'll pull up my screen, and we'll talk about the prelims. Because I'm not going to lie, the prelims were just as good, if not better, than the main fight card. And that's saying something because the main fight card was fucking awesome. Yeah?
Okay. Yeah. So disclosure, I was at work, did not have time to watch any of the prelims. I think I caught like the last of the prelims before the actual main card started. Yeah, but go ahead and pull it up.
No worries at all, dude. Like I said, you missed the prelims. We'll talk about that real quick because I actually was sitting there watching them. But it was not in vain, buddy. So, actually, as a matter of fact, one of the guys from a local MMA spot that I don't know if you ever trained there. I was at.
I haven't.
You have?
No, I haven't.
You haven't? Okay. Yeah, Bryce Mitchell. I can't remember specifically where he trains out of. Why did I drop it?
I think they said he trains out of West Side here.
Yeah,
here local in Little Rock. Yeah,
but not in Little Rock. He's over in the Cersei one.
Oh, I have no idea what that is then.
Yeah, well, no. It's still West Side, and they're fucking fantastic. Obviously, they put out good fighters. Yeah. I know we beat them in the jiu-jitsu tournament that we had, but at the same time, like, I mean, obviously they're MMA fighters. Bryce Mitchell is a fucking monster.
Like he's a local hometown guy. Me and right now, currently, I live in Sherwood. Mike lived in Sherwood.
Little Rock area, just in case anybody's curious.
Yeah, he lived in Sherwood before he went to Houston. So local guy, give him support and shout out for going there and whooping ass. He's what 13-1 right now?
Yeah, he's an absolute monster.
Yeah.
13, well, so I guess they considered in the UFC, he's technically in a professional career 13-0, but his UFC career, he lost one fight that ended up getting eliminated on Ultimate Fighter. So his UFC career has technically just got one knock against it, which who gives a shit?
Yeah, John Jones got one knock, but who gives a fuck either?
Yeah, well, I've never seen anybody finish 2 fights with a twister. So, which he almost did. He almost did like 3 different times in the middle of this fight. Like,
yeah.
But the cool thing about it, and we tweeted about it in the middle of it. Well, all right, well, obviously it wasn't you at this point in time. I tweeted about it in the middle of this. Was the fact that the coolest thing about fighting, man, Joe Rogan puts it perfectly. It is the ultimate one-on-one sport. Like, once you get in that ring, it's blood sport. I mean, it's the most modernized version of Coliseum fighting. It gets no more real than that. And because of that, people bring their absolute everything because it's not a team sport where it's like, oh well, the whole team lost this game, you can put blame. No, these people lose out, and it's their family sitting in the pit. Well, not in this case. At least families watching on TV for this one, but primarily when they have them in the crowds and shit like that, they're losing one-on-one in front of their families and stuff like that. I mean, it's the ultimate knock. But the other thing about it is there's always the hype up to the fight until the end. When you see these guys and they're just bloody and tattered and shit like that, you couldn't even fathom the amount of pain they just had to endure for 15 to 25 minutes. And they're giving each other hugs afterwards. I mean, that's what I love most about MMA, and I will forever be a fan as long as they maintain that aspect. That I think truly down from a human human nature, we we want to embrace that. We want to embrace the fact that there's still that passion after the fight's over, not just before it. So
Right.
and that's exactly what happened. I guess Charles Rosa was just talking a gang of shit beforehand. Bryce Mitchell, I mean, he's people don't really understand the Arkansas mentality, dude. Like, I've lived it personally. Like that, those people are Southern as fuck, but at the same time, like it's legit South. You can go knock on someone's door and be completely homeless, and they're back. Come on in. Yeah, we got plenty of food over here. You know, I got beer in the fridge. Long as you don't rob us, you're always welcome here, my friend. So for him,
here's a Bud Light, baby. Here's a Bud Light.
Dude, that's exactly, dude, that's like the fucking poison of choice, too. But it was just like that. I guess apparently Bryce Mitchell was not a yapper. He never has been. He doesn't chirp anybody. And Rosa was trying to hype the fight. And I guess at the end of it, Rosa came up, gave him a hug. They embraced each other, which was awesome. But Bryce Mitchell was like, I didn't know what was going on. He talked the whole gang of shit. And then after the fight came up, everything was great. It's like, dude, what more needs to be said, man? That's the fucking dream.
Real Arkansas there. Real Arkansas. Yeah, man, the whole shit talking, man, I just can't get into it. Like even before big football games, everybody hyping, jumping, and hitting each other. I'm the motherfucker that's in the back. Like, mentally, I'm there. I'm ready to go. It's just all the yapping. Nah, dude. Like, let's get out there and let's fucking get after it.
You sound like the white kid who brings a gun to school.
Really? Oh, because I'm in the back, It's all good. It's all good.
But no, so it went to decision. It was single-handed for the Mitchell fight. The Ryan Spann fight was really good too with Sam Alp. It was just, I think everybody was just so jazzed to be like back and just over this whole effect that they were just excited to be on camera more than anything else. It was wild listening to Black and cheering in the crowd and hearing like the fucking, like, actually being able to hear the coaches in the sides yelling at him. Like, I mean, what kind of stuff they're generally saying, like, oh, he's dropping his arm, take a shot, take an uppercut, that kind of shit. So, but yeah, so the fight card was pretty good. The Nico Price one was really awesome. Did you catch that?
No, I didn't catch Nico Price. I caught Michelle Watterson, caught that one. Scroll up a little bit. This is where I started watching. I watched Verdum and Oleg, which Oleg won that one. Then Pettis and Cerrone. Man,
whack.
Dude, I hate watching Cerrone. Like, I know a lot of people. Like, hold on. I know a lot of people love Cerrone, and I do not think he's a bad fighter by any means. It's just I don't get the hype. Every time I watch this dude, he loses. So I don't know if I'm fucking bad luck or not, but every fucking time I watch a Donald Cerrone fight, this dude gets starched every single time I watch him. I just don't get the hype up. Now, maybe earlier in his MMA career, maybe he was fucking over everybody. But right now, as of the past couple of years, whenever I watch this dude fight, I haven't watched every fight, but more than not, when I watch him fight, he always loses.
So he's got the most wins in UFC history, just so you know.
No, I'm talking about recently, as of recently.
So
I'm talking about early.
He's gone through an arc and valley. So, like, I'm going to guess right now is his valley. He's taken a whole shitload of fights right now. And that's what happened last time.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's what happened last time in his career when he didn't try and gap them a little bit further. And because of that, I think that's when he started to take a lot of L's now. And it's not going to knock against him. He's still an absolute monster. But you're absolutely correct in your assessment. In fact, he just fought back in February, and then he takes this fight, not even 3 months later. It was like mid-February he took that fight.
Yeah, because he fought Connor.
Right.
Lost.
Which,
when was the last time he won?
Dude, you break an orbital bone. And by the way, Stephen A. Smith can suck a fat cock. That dude doesn't know.
I don't know why. Dude, stick to basketball. Stick to one.
Not even that, dude. That guy doesn't know.
Stick to one fucking thing. I don't want to hear his fucking I don't want his take, dude. You can't even fucking fight. Shut the fuck up.
Dude, did you see them sitting there roasting about the punching the dad, punching the baby? Fucking Joe Rogan.
No, the punch in the dick.
Yeah,
because he put the punch in the dick.
Punching the dad, the baby one had me laughing.
This dude was literally punching downward, man.
Right,
Get the fuck out of here.
Dude, like his whole body adjustment, like all you had to do was just reach over and haymaker right on his chin and watch him just crack his neck back.
Yeah, don't want to hear shit from Stephen A. Smith.
I'm no expert fighter, but that was not a good look.
I'm no expert fighter either, but I'll roll Stephen A. Smith ass up real quick.
Dude, I believe that kid that he was trying to punch would have beat his ass, you know?
But yeah, so that's the I guess the early prelim, well, the prelim, not the early ones. Go to the main card.
I would love to. Oh, by the way, Cerrone got fucked on that judgment call. I'll just call that out right now. So he beat Pettis. A lot of people believe, even Pettis believed it when they came down to judgment. Nobody understood. So this was really impressive, actually.
Yeah, Greg absolutely. Greg Hardy. For one, the Castro was such a fucking disappointment. This dude was showing too much love and too much respect the whole fight. He kept trying to dap Greg Hardy up, trying to be his best friend, kept trying to fist pump. Motherfucker, get in there and sling. Like, dude, throw some fucking hands. Like, he was just being just the ultimate nice guy in his fight.
Yeah, it was really weird how he wasn't, exactly. Although he was given some really brutal leg kicks, but he was, exactly that. It was mediocre when it came to just his aggressiveness. And what I respect to Greg Hardy, though, he wasn't just trying to bulldoze the guy. Greg Hardy was really, really focusing in on technique, which he just, I mean, he has the capability if he wants to just bulldoze. I mean, well, anybody except for one of these guys we're going to talk about here in a minute.
Not that motherfucker.
No.
Not him.
No. So he has the ability to bulldoze just about anybody in the UFC except for that individual. But he got really technical, man. He tried to start exchanging leg kicks. I think he did a really good job. I was impressed. I mean, for a UFC fight, I think it was meh, but I just like to see the progression more than anything else. I'm really impressed with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Now the Jeremy Stevens and Calvin Kattar, honestly, by this point I was slipping in and out. I was like half dozing and shit like that because it was just a long day of work. So this one was really foggy on what happened.
Yeah, I got to be honest. I don't recall either.
That's fair.
Not a fan. Let's just roll on to the ones that we didn't miss. So
Ngannou and Rozenstruik.
I will. Congratulations to Calvin Kattar on your win.
Yes, sir.
I'm just sorry that it was just so non-inspirational that we forgot.
Don't remember. Now this next one, Francis Ngannou and Rozenstruik. Rozenstruik was talking a lot of shit, and if you know Francis Ngannou, he don't fuck around with that.
He wasn't talking shit. He just did.
Well, he wanted to fight. Yeah,
right.
he wanted this fight because he thought like, oh, I can go in there, I can beat Francis Ngannou. Motherfucker, y'all shit.
Dude, look, I'm a Daniel Cormier fan, but that was not a good look for him after the fight either. When he started taking interviews and when he initially was asked, not by Rogan, but the other guy, I always forget his name, but he's a good commentator too.
Was like, Anik? Is the end of his name?
Anik, right. Yeah, and he's great. I'm sorry, I just dropped his name for a second there. But, Anik was like, whoa, is anybody willing to take on Ngannou in that division? He was like, well, I'm not afraid of Ngannou. And then later on in a couple interviews, he's like, well, I'd rather go ahead and take on Miocic again for fight 3 than go against
fight 3?
Dude.
Okay.
There's nobody on the face of the planet. Like, I don't give a shit if you're what the fuck that guy's name was, who was the most feared individual in British prison history. You don't want to take Francis and
fuck no. Now, although in his form was absolutely dog shit when he just reared back and rushed him. Yeah, he
Four
was
times.
trying to kill him. Yeah.
4 times, dude. He was just swinging haymaker. But Rosenstrike, he gave up. He immediately, like, he panicked and he started backing up. He just completely lost all composure, dude. And as soon as he did that, that's all Ngannou had to do was just throw. He had to fucking just waylay him.
Motherfucker, I will lose composure if I see his big ass running it. Shit, I'm trying to Olay his shit. Get the fuck out of the way.
Dude, I won't argue that fact, but yeah, I mean, you're on the ultimate fighting stage now, and I mean, legitimately, not just throwing the title in there. You're on the ultimate, like, modern Coliseum fighting stage where it matters most, and you hyped yourself to get into this fight. I would at least stand in there and exchange a few blows with the individual.
Fuck yeah.
Get knocked
out. Now, Francis Ngannou, you know who I really want to see him fight? I want to see him fight John Jones.
It's never going to happen.
Well, he's been talking like he wants to move up to heavyweight and, you know, take on. Well, I mean, he ain't got no competition where he at now.
He can't do anything, dude. He's already on suspension again.
Well,
not only that,
again,
and he'll never, even though he's 6'5" and the longest guy in light heavyweight history, he'll never fucking actually own up and fight anybody in the heavyweight division.
I wish he would, though. I mean, just think about it. Him versus Ngannou. Oh my god.
Well, I think Henry
bombs.
No, dude, Ngannou will kill him.
That may be, yeah.
Dude, literally 3/4 of the heavyweight division would murder John Jones because of. Dude, you look at so John Jones walks around at like 210, 215, 220. For a 6'5" guy, that's fucking lean. I mean, even his brothers, both of them are around the same height. What is it? Chandler's like 6'5", 6'6", and he's 245, 250 as a fucking stacked D end. I mean, don't get me wrong. Their family obviously has been pumping out Pro Bowlers since day one. Whoever they are, they should continue.
Golden Vagina and the Golden Dick Award.
Yeah, exactly. Those people have the ultimate proteins. So, but like, that's the only thing. That's my one knock against John Jones, dude. If I saw him go up, take a couple fights in the heavyweight division, which he's never done, I would finally be on board to say that he is the greatest fighter in UFC history. I just can't do it because he refuses to step up and take on bigger competition because he's afraid. I mean, he's legit afraid. I don't give a shit about his cocaine habits. We all got problems, dude. But just go up. Even fucking Henry Cejudo. It's just like him, GSP. All the
two division champ right there.
The legit greats. Daniel Cormier. Dude, that's a fat motherfucker. And he's at least dropped down to take light heavyweight fights. So you can say whatever you want about him against John Jones, but he had to drop the weight, go outside of his comfort zone. And you and I have both done that when it comes to wrestling and jiu-jitsu. Shaving weight is not easy, and it's horrible on a fucking body. Atrocious on a body. So you're going to sit there, shave weight one day, make weight, and fight the next day outside of your comfort zone when you're already kind of anemic. And these guys are doing this at a professional level. Except for John Jones, I just don't have any respect for that. I think the guy, I personally think he's a quitter. So, hate me, it is what it is. But I'm not impressed with him. So,
Henry Cejudo, Dominic Cruz. I think we already talked about that. Yeah, it was an early stoppage, but I mean, let's be honest. I didn't see Dominic Cruz beating Henry Cejudo.
No,
I mean,
neither one of us did.
Just no go.
Congratulations to Cejudo for the retirement.
Yes, yeah. Now this one here, this is fucking interesting. I mean, I don't know about you. I've watched Fergie Ferg for a minute. He is a motherfucker. And Justin Gaethje, he is a motherfucker too. But I did not see Gaethje taking. I mean, he took that man's will. I mean, when you had to throw in a white towel. Gosh, I mean, he
got stopped.
Yeah, because the ref was like, "Hey, man, dude, you can't take another punch, man."
Yeah, I mean, but
that motherfucker had the recipe. Gaethje had the recipe to beat Ferguson.
No, he didn't. He just the recipe would have been knocking him out in the second round when he was taking bombs to the temple. Tony Ferguson is not a human being, dude.
No, that motherfucker is not.
Past Pluto, like shit. Gaethje was hitting him with left hooks left hooks, mind you, and he's a normal stance, not a goofy stance. He's a strong right-handed guy. So he's hitting Ferguson with left hooks that would put, I mean, anybody else on this list minus Francis Ngannou to the temple into an immediate coma, including this guy right here who's taking NFL shots.
Yeah.
So, like, no, Tony Ferguson is on a whole different level, dude. And that just goes to show the elite tier that Justin Gaethje's at, well deserving of taking the belt or going to the belt.
Interim.
Yeah.
So
what'd you think afterwards?
Now, hold on. I just want to throw this in there. Ferguson is never the fighter that you can count out. I mean, even before the stoppage, I was still like, okay, he can turn it on at any minute and just get shit rolling. At the end of the second round, when he uppercut Gaethje and hurt him, I was like, oh, this could be the turn. And in the third round, I was still thinking like, okay, I'm kind of waiting on him to come on. He did not. Now, when you talk about Gaethje and Khabib is not going to fight Gaethje the way Ferg did. I mean, you hear any analyst, expert, anybody in the wrestling community, they will tell you Khabib is the motherfucker of all motherfuckers when it comes to wrestling.
He's going to take wrestling a bear as a kid, dude. A
bear.
Tell me that is not the most Russian comrade thing you have ever heard.
God, dog. So I do think, I mean, you're going to see a completely different fight when you see Khabib and Gaethje. I mean, it's going to be a phenomenal fight. It's probably going to be the fucking fight of the year.
You got a guy who's been legit training for fighting since he was. What did they say? He's been training for fighting since 12. And he does wrestling on the side and just knocked out arguably the number one contender. TKO'd him because he knocked him out standing up, which kudos to Ferguson. That was the most crazy fucking thing I've ever seen.
Now, when the fight is over, I mean, Ferg was acting like a little hoe.
Right off the bat,
he was acting like a little hoe, but then after Gaethje said, "Hey, being an asshole won't get you nowhere," then he kind of softened his tune after that because he realized, like, I mean, and I get it. He didn't want to go out that way. I get it, but still, at the same time, you got your ass whooped fair and square. Like, shake the dude's hand like a man and go on about it.
Yeah, I was really annoyed at first. I think everybody in the crowd was just really. They were like, "Dude, really? That's what you brought to the party after all this fight. You everybody else was a trooper except for you." But when he showed love after the fight, a couple seconds later, once he calmed down, and I get the emotions were just at an all-time high for sure.
Oh yeah.
As well as the fact that the guy had just had both of his temples just consolidated inside of his fucking brain.
Because Ferg ain't lost it's been a long time since that dude. I mean, he was like on a 12-fight win streak, some shit like that. Yeah, so it's been a minute since he's lost.
Yeah, and not only the guys he's beat look like him after that fight.
Yeah, true.
Like, I mean,
true. God, yeah, true.
Every one of them for the last at least like 7 fights look like they fucking fell off a train, dude.
Yeah,
true. And that is hacky. That's a direct quote from Rogan, but I don't really have any other way to describe it. So, but yeah, no, Gaethje killed him, dude. I mean, he legit. There was points in that fight I thought Gaethje, I thought he was gonna end his life because he hit him so blatantly on, and any lesser man would have died.
Yeah.
Like Rocky, like Apollo Creed versus the Russian.
Drago.
Yes, Drago. There.
You know.
Old Ivan.
Shout out to Gaethje for the win, but shout out to Ferguson for standing in there and taking them lumps.
One of the best fight
Motherfucker took them lumps.
One of the best fight cards I've ever seen, dude. I can't wait for Gaethje versus Khabib. You've got a guy who's been training for fighting his entire life with a background or side round in wrestling versus a guy who has been an international wrestling champ his entire life and picked up fighting. Man, this is going to be a wild one. Like, it's the I am the tiger, it's a thrill.
Shit. Hey, just like Khabib say, I want to smash him. I
Right.
want to smash him. That's
Dude,
how it's gonna be. Shit,
but
that's gonna be a good ass fight, bro.
well, Gaethje doesn't talk shit, so it's gonna be intriguing because
Yeah,
you've got the
yeah,
two
but that's how
guys.
Khabib likes though. I mean, he don't like all that. He don't like all that talking. The more you talk, the more you piss him off.
Right. Yeah,
He ain't the type of person you want to piss off.
yeah, and that's what I love most about Gaethje. It's like he brings a whole different aura to the fight game of not trying to hype himself up or anything like that. And he shows up and shows out. I mean, what the fuck? Who saw this coming, dude? This guy was
I
on
didn't.
left field, left
I didn't.
field. Yeah, I just knew he was a really good fighter from the video, from just all the fucking exhibitions you see of this guy when he's thrown down the UFC. He's been destructive. But yeah, nobody saw him coming in and burying Tony Ferguson the way he did 4 or 5 rounds. I might add.
Yeah,
There was no point in time where Ferguson had the zero. So
I agree.
otherwise though, dude, so that's the UFC fight for the weekend. What else is going on with you?
Not shit, man. Just working and just just taking it day by day, man. Another thing that we want to talk about is so every year the NFL puts out a Hey Rookie segment. So they'll take a couple draft picks,
Yes.
and and they'll kind of they'll film their journey from preparation to the draft and after the draft and kind of where they go. So I got an interesting take, and Mike has one that he's been wanting to get off his chest. So I'm gonna let him vent in a minute, but I'm gonna kind of give my. Okay.
This one's all on you, baby.
Okay. So what I took away from it was I didn't really give a shit about it. I watched it and was kind of like, eh. All I know is I wouldn't want KJ Handler to be my fucking travel agent because what he fucking told Jerry Judy was like the dumbest shit. He was just like,
what just incompetent babble that was, bro.
He was telling them, he was like, yeah, in Colorado they stay in cabins. At the top of the mountain they ski. At the bottom of the mountain they wear swimsuits. And I was just like, what the fuck is he talking about? So stick to football, bro. Don't start a career in travel, being a travel agent, because this shit was terrible. The advice he was giving. But overall, I think the Broncos were fortunate to have their number 1 and their second round pick featured on the show. But I mean, outside of that, I really didn't think nothing of it. I mean, it was just like, I didn't learn anything new. Pretty much, I didn't learn anything from watching them. Like, oh, this is different. Oh, I didn't already know this about them. It was just kind of like, shit that you already know, pretty much. If you've been following the draft process like we have been, because we're fans, we're not analysts, we're fans, but I mean, we stay pretty in tune to what's actually going on in the Broncos community. Go ahead, man. Stop fucking being quiet. Go ahead and
what is this, like a Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharp moment?
Nah. Hey, I want to hear your take because I'm curious, because I took absolutely nothing from it, but you have a different take on it.
So
come on, man. Come on. Hey, it's the Uncommon Man podcast, baby.
I think Hamler is a fucking clown, dude.
Okay.
Like, that was I have not been reserved about this opinion since we drafted the guy.
Ooh.
And I gotta be honest, it hasn't changed. And I watched the Hey There Rookie.
Uh-huh.
And
it didn't make you like him anymore.
It got worse.
Oh, it got worse.
He is the embodiment of everything you don't want. Like Odell Beckham Jr.-esque. Like he has all
what kind of like prima donna type person?
He's a spoiled brat, dude. He's a fucking spoiled brat. Like you look at his family is so well off up there in Michigan, dude. And I appreciate them for that. But like you look at how Jerry Judy like you can just tell people who are appreciative of coming up from nothing and then going up to something. which is exactly where Jerry Judy's family was through that whole process. Which, by the way, they look like a white version of the Addams family when he got drafted, which I thought was hysterical because that's how their entire that's how his entire career has been. The guy's just like a constant isolationist. But like when you heard Jerry Judy interviews, it's like, this guy was a straight A student. That guy was a fucking 4.0 student.
Not the best person on camera, if you hadn't noticed. Just imagine interviewing him after the game.
Just imagine interviewing him there in the fucking draft. Like, just dude, when they got done drafting him and they had Cortland Sutton interviewing him, just that SMU education versus
that shit was painful. That shit was painful. Dude, like trying to pull at him. But I mean, he seems like he's like a quiet dude.
I love him.
Head down, go to work type person.
Right. And he looks. You could tell they grew up doing just what they could to keep their heads above water. Just uncommon people like us, All right, sorry, common people like us, uncommon people. Would be a better word. But yeah, then you get to the Hamler family, and you like from an ESPN perspective, that mom is exactly what you're looking for, dude. That lady, she is a Twitter fiend. She is an Instagram fiend. That lady will hype up any scenario. They should be recruiting her for the next UFC fights to try to get on the roll, dude.
Recruit her for Monday Night Football.
Dude, right off the bat, I'll at least watch. Whoever the fuck they got next on deck, it won't be me.
Her and Pat McAfee, Monday Night Football.
Shout out to Pat McAfee, baby.
Lock it in, baby.
They won't give it to him. I already told him no.
I know.
So, no, did you? Yeah, bro, I was so fucking pissed when I heard that news the other day. So, after the Titans game, that's my last Monday Night Football game for the season. So, ESPN, you can suck a fat dick. What? So
the whole takeaway from it is you don't care for KJ Hamler, pretty much.
He's going to be a show-me process. It's nothing against the kid. Kudos to him for the fact he got drafted in the second round. But just what I saw, dude, I had that vibe, and it didn't do anything to change my impression on the guy, and it's unfortunate. But I think I think the rest of the draft that we had, most of those guys are going to be hungry for it. I think KJ Hamler is going to be our only one that in about 2 or 3 years they're going to be like, "Yep, see you later." So,
the worst thing that can happen out of this is, he turns out to be, okay option for us. But you really want Jerry Judy to pan out. If we can get Sutton and Judy and Noah Fant to be like, okay, these guys are the it factor. Cool. I've said this multiple times. We should have taken Handler later on in the draft. I don't think we should have taken him in the second round. I still think we should have took him in third. Honestly, I'm getting tired of hearing this 4.240 when you have nothing to validate you running this.
Even on the show, there was nothing to back that up, dude.
So if you have people at Penn State that you have some people at Penn State that's vouching for him, but those are your buddies. What's that mean,
though? That's a coach trying to sit there and recruit for the next oncoming.
Exactly. But quite frankly, I'm tired of hearing about this 4.240 when you have nothing to validate it. Do I think he's quick and shifty? Absolutely. But it's one of those things where, we're really going to have to see how this one works out. Out of your first round, second round, and your 3 third-round picks, he's the one that, I guess he has the biggest bust potential, I should say, because everybody else, they're going to put out. Cushenberry, he's going to put out. Jerry Judy, he's going to put out. Ajin, he's going to put out. Handler is that one that's like and Michael Ojemudia.
Well, yeah, I'm excited about that one too. Like I said,
you know they're going to pan out, but this one is the one where,
and like I said, dude, I mean, kudos to the kid. You know, we're not about beating people down here on this.
No.
We want to see him succeed. He's
unless you're the Raiders, fuck you.
That is correct. But yeah, we want to see him succeed. I just don't see it happening, unfortunately. But the other great thing about it was you got to see some of the other people who got drafted. What's his name? Derek Brown went to the Jags, or I'm sorry, the Panthers.
Carolina.
Derek Brown, that was a great following. And then you also had
the guy from Georgia. I can't remember.
Why did I say Brown twice? Thomas? Was it Andrew Thomas?
Yeah. Andrew Thomas.
Yeah, Andrew Thomas, the tackle from Georgia. So
New York.
Is he really? Oh, yeah. Went to New York. Right. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was really cool getting to see those guys' stories and just their backgrounds. And the coolest aspect of this, from being a Broncos fan, is the fact that there was 5 people featured on that show. We drafted 2 of them, and I mean, when you look at it, the first 2 were the 2 main guys on the show, and then the other 2, we got them back to back. So that was pretty fucking awesome. Yeah, but I just don't think Jerry Jeudy's gonna be a bust. I mean, the guy, he just wants it too much. He's too hungry, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll have an injury here and there. That comes with the territory of playing against grown men in the NFL. But like, yeah, dude, it's going to be an awesome season. I'm excited about it. And what I think we should do from this point is go ahead and crash this one. This has been an awesome Yap session. Let's roll into the Denver Broncos predictions. You like that?
Yes, sir. Let's do
all right,
that.
guys. We'll catch you on the other side. This is the end of this podcast. It'll go live here pretty shortly, and we will go on to the number 1 team in the NFL.